Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to our classes, and we have today class number 19, and we're going to talk about chapter 39, Hadith ZARA, which is the most famous hadith, and it is one of the longest hadith in this book. So we're going to start reading, as we said, in the Arabic edition. Please follow up with me. حدثنا علي بن حجر حدثنا عيسى بن يونس عن هشام عن عروة عن أخيه عن عبد الله بن عروة عن عروة عن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت: جلست 11 امرأة فتعاهدن وتعاقدن أن لا يكتمن من أخبار أزواجهن شيئا. فقالت الأولى: زوجي لحم جمل غث على رأس جبل وعر لا سهل فيرتقى ولا سمين فينتقل. وقالت الثانية: زوجي لا أثير خبره إني أخاف أن لا أذره إن أذكره أذكر عجره وبجره. وقالت الثالثة: زوجي العشنق إن أنطق أطلق وإن أسكت أعلق. وقالت الرابعة: زوجي جليل تهامة لا حر ولا قر ولا مخافة ولا سآمة. وقالت الخامسة: زوجي إن دخل فهد وإن خرج أسد ولا يسأل عما عهد. وقالت السادسة: زوجي إن أكل لف وإن شرب اشتف وإن اضطجع التف ولا يولج الكف لا يعلم البث. وقالت السابعة: زوجي عيايا أو غيايا طيباقا كل داء له داء شجك أو فلك أو كل لك. وقالت الثامنة: زوجي المس مس أرنب والريح ريح زرنب. وقالت التاسعة: زوجي رفيع العماد طويل النجاد عظيم الرماد قريب البيت من الناد. وقالت العاشرة: زوجي مالك وما مالك مالك خير من ذلك له إبل كثيرات المبارك قليلات المسارح إذا سمعن صوت المزهر أيقن أنهن هوالك. وقالت الحادية عشرة: زوجي أبو زرع وما أبو زرع أناس من حلي أذني وملأ من شحم عضدي وبجحني فبجحت إلي نفسي وجدني في أهل غنيمة بشق فجعلني في أهل صهيل وأطيط ودائس ومنق فعنده أقول فلا أقبح وأرقد فأتصبح وأشرب فأتقمح. أم أبي زرع فما أم أبي زرع عكومها رداح وبيتها فساح ابن أبي زرع فما ابن أبي زرع مضجعه كمثل لشطبه وتشبعه ذراع الجفرة. بنت أبي زرع وما بنت أبي زرع فما بنت أبي زرع طوع أبيها وطوع أمها وملء كسائها وغيظ جارتها. جارية أبي زرع فما جارية أبي زرع لا تبث حديثنا تبثيثا ولا تنقث ميرتنا تنقيثا ولا تملأ بيتنا تعشيشا. قالت: خرج أبو زرع والأوطاب تمخض فلقي امرأة معها ولدان لها قال كالفهدين ومعها ولدان لها كالفهدين يلعبان من تحت خصرها برمانتين فطلقني ونكحها فنكحت بعده رجلا سريا ركب شرية وأخذ خطية وراح علي نعما ثرية وأعطاني من كل رائحة زوجة. وقال كلي أم زرع وميري أهلك فلو جمعت كل شيء أعطانيه ما بلغ أصغر آنية أبي زرع. قالت عائشة رضي الله عنها: فقال لي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: كنت لك كأبي زرع لأمي زرع. Okay, so in the English edition, this is a long hadith, as you can see, chapter on how the Messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, peace and blessings be upon him, slept. Okay, this is not the same. This is not the same page. Yeah. From Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, who said, one day there sat together 11 women, making an explicit promise amongst themselves that they would conceal nothing about their spouses. The first one said, my husband is like the meat of a lean camel placed at the top of a hill, which is difficult to climb up, nor the meat is good enough that one finds in oneself the urge to take it away from the top of the mountain. What does that mean? That means that the first one, she's saying that her husband, he's just like he has a bad meat, like a camel bad meat, and it's not like the meat of the sheep, and she's just like exaggerating that he's not useful for her and he's not benefiting her. So this is why she's picturing the image of her husband, that he was not good with her, and she wanted to exaggerate that he has a bad manners and he's not treating her well. So this is why he's just like something like a high thing, and you cannot reach to the top, of that high thing or that mountain, just like a mountain or a hill high, and you cannot reach up to the end of that one. So that means she was complaining of her husband, okay, and she's also saying that her husband, people, they don't like him, so they don't want to invite him to their houses to give him food or something like that. So this is why, if people they are like that, they don't like to invite him. So you can imagine that how much she's suffering from this person who's living with her. He's like a miser, and he has bad, as we said, bad manners. The second woman, she's saying that the second said, my husband is so bad that I am afraid I would not be able to describe his faults completely. Why she cannot describe his faults completely? Because she's afraid that he might, if he knows that she's describing him and she's exposing or she's disclosing his secret, or she's saying that he's not a good person, also she's complaining of him, he might divorce her because if he knows about that. And the third said, my husband is a tall fellow, he acts intelligence. If I give vent to my feelings about him, he would divorce me, and if I kept quiet, I would be made to live in a state of suspense, neither completely abandoned by him nor entertained as a wife. The other one is having the same problem with her husband, and just like she's saying that he's very tall, and she's saying that this is a like for negative point for her, like he's very tall, or so tall to the extent that he's ugly or something like that. She didn't like him. So this is why she's saying, if I'm saying all these things about him, also she's saying, if I'm saying all these things about him, he will not divorce me. Maybe he will divorce me, or otherwise he will suspend me. That means he will not divorce me, and he will not stay with me as a husband. She don't want to talk about him. Okay, so the fourth one said, my husband is like the night of Tihama. The night of Hijaz and Mecca. Tihama is the name of place, and it is Mecca and the surroundings or suburbs of Mecca. So Tihama, it is a place called about the Hijaz area or Mecca and the suburbs of Mecca or surrounding areas. Neither too cold nor too hot. There is neither any fear of him nor grief. So he's this kind of person, or this kind of husband. He's just like a normal man. He's not. She's imitating him like a Tihama place, which is, as we said, Mecca and the suburbs of Mecca. The fifth said, my husband is like a leopard as he enters the house, and behaves like a lion when he gets out, and he does not ask about that which he leaves in the house. She's explaining that her husband is a good person. When he comes into the house, he's just like a leopard or jaguar, let's say, and this she's referring to something like something like, because he's a real man when he comes into his house, and when he goes out, he's just like a lion. He's brave outside, and also he's brave inside my house. And he is, when he goes out, when he leaves his family, he doesn't ask what's happening in his house. And she's showing that that is a good point. She wants to highlight that this person is a good person. He doesn't ask what is happening in my house behind me. And it doesn't mean that she doesn't ask about them, but he's not asking about what did they do with the materials that he left back in his house. Did they like exploit all the materials, or did they use all the materials? Did they left something? Did they do this and that? You know, sometimes some people like they are doing in their houses, they are doing like micromanagement. Where is this thing? Where is that thing? Why did you like spend this much of food or materials, or so on and so forth? And she's saying no, he's not that kind of person, and he doesn't care about what are we doing in the house, even if we consume all the materials or all the food or anything we do. He doesn't care. The sixth one: as far as my husband is concerned, he eats so much that nothing is left, and when he drinks, no drop is left behind. So kind of like person who likes to drink or eat so much, and when he lies down to wraps his body and does not touch me, so that he may know my grief. That she's saying that my husband, he doesn't care about me. He eats so much, he drinks so much, and he's kind of dull person, and he doesn't care about me. What do I have? What is my problems if I have? And so on and so forth. So that means he's just like a careless person, and it's kind of like she's disclosing the secret of their of her husband, as we said in the beginning of this hadith, that these women, all of them, they promised to disclose the secrets of their husbands. So she's just saying that. She's not saying that this is bad or good, but it is a bad thing not asking about your spouse conditions or grief or whatever. The seventh one said, my husband is heavy in spirit, having no brightness in him, impotent, suffering from all kinds of conceivable diseases, having such as rough manners, so that he may break my head or wound my body, or may do both. So he's kind of harsh person. He's not a good person, and he's a cruel person with them. And he's heavy in spirit. He's not like something you can like him when you talk to him or when you treat him. And this is why he might hurt her, maybe wound her or break a bone or something like that. So he's a kind of cruel or harsh person. The other one said, or the eighth one said, my husband is as sweet smelling planet, and as soft as the softness of a hair. Oh, this is good. The ninth said, my husband is the master of a lofty building, long statued, having heaps of ashes at his door, and his house is near to the meeting place in the end. So this man, a kind of generous person, and this person, he has like camels, or he has like she said that he's a tall person, and he also have a house, or he's living near to the al-nad or nadi in Arabic. It means just like a club where people gathering. At that time the people, they were having clubs. They were having some areas to gather there, and they were talking in these areas. So she's saying he's a person who has his house near to the club, or where the place where people gathering, and he has a great in ash, because that means that he's kind of generous, very generous person, because he's lighting the fire, okay, or he's creating fires, lighting fires for the guests, and this is why he has so much ashes. So when she's talking about the ashes, she's saying that he's a very generous person, because ashes comes from fire, and fire comes from inviting people, or inviting guests to his house, okay, or to his club. And that means also lighting fire, okay, or building fire. It means that he's feeding the people, and he's slaughtering like camels or what he has for those people. And that means she's mentioning that he's a kind of a generous person. And the 10th said, my husband is Malik. His name is Malik. Okay, is Malik. My husband is Malik, and how fine Malik is, far above appreciation and praise. He has many foals of his camel, more in number than pastures. When the camels hear the sound of music, they become sure that they are going to be slaughtered. So also the Malik, she likes Malik, and she's praising Malik, and she's also saying that he has so many camels, and these camels, when they hear the sound, sound of the music, that means they feel that they will be slaughtered. So what is the relationship between the music and slaughtering the camels? So that means that he's inviting people also, and the people, when they comes to him, he's starting to play music for them. That means he's welcoming them. And also at the same time, when he welcomes these people and he plays the music, after that dinner will come. So this is why he's slaughtering the camels for those people, for feeding those people. And this is why she's also praising him, and she's saying that my husband is a generous person. He's kind of person who's slaughtering his camels for them, and at that time slaughtering the camels or whatever you have from the cattle to the guests, it's kind of a generosity, and it's kind of like something that Arabs at that time they show off. So this is why she's saying he's kind of person, whenever people comes to him, whenever guests come to him, he starts to play music for them, and definitely he will slaughter camels for them. This to the extent that the camels, they know once he start the music, they know that they will be slaughtered. The 11th said, my husband, and she's the best one, and this is why the Prophet Muhammad said that to Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, that I will be to you like Abu Zar to ZARA. Who's that person, or who's that husband? My husband is Abu Zara. He suspended heavy ornaments in my ears. He was giving her gold and everything. He was doing whatever she wants, and more than she can expect from him, and fed me liberally, so that my snooze and bones are covered with fat. So she was thin. She's saying that she was thin, then she became fat because he was eating her, feeding her, and also he was giving her golds and all these things, earrings and so on and so forth. So he made me happy. She became happy because of that, sure, for that, especially if he gives her all, gold and all these things. He found me among the shepherds living in the side of the mountain. So she's saying that my family is a kind of family who are shepherds, and they were and shepherds, those who are having sheep, people at that time, they were not the people of the higher category. The people of the higher category, those who are having the camels. So that she's saying that, and he made me the owner of the horses and camels. So that means that he is from a good family, from a famous family, from a high category in the in the society. The higher category of the society at that time, those who are having horses and camels, not those who who are having cows and sheep. The lowest who are having the sheep, because it's more expensive and it's more useful at that time, because it was using for camels and horses. They were using them also for wars. So this is obvious. So she's saying I'm from that low category, he's from that high category, and horses. So he brought me from that level, just like she's living in an area from low social living people and socially living people, and in some area of poor people, and he took me from that city, for example, or from that town to his town where the people of camels and horses living. So the owner of the horses, camels, lands, and heaps of grain, and he finds not fault with me. He was not making mistakes with her, and he was not faulting with her. I sleep and get up in the morning at my own sweet will and drink to my heart's content. So he was leaving her sleeping until she wakes up. He was not waking her up, and at the morning he was staying there waiting for her to wake up, or otherwise he goes to work without waking up his wife. So that means she's pampered. She's living the way she likes. Okay. The mother of Abu Zar, and now she's talking about the mother of Abu Zar. The mother of Abu Zar, how fine is the mother of Abu Zar? Her bundles are heavily packed for receptacles in her house are filled to the brim, and the house is quite spacious. So he has a spacious house. As far as the son of Abu Zar concerned, his bed is as soft as green palm stick drawn forth from its bark, or like a sword drawn forth from its scabbard, and whom just an arm of a lamp is enough to satiate. 1 minute. Let me check this word. Yes. Now she has praised his mother, okay, her husband's mother, and she's praising his son. Okay, now she's going to praise the daughter of Abu Zar. And as far as the daughter of Abu Zar is concerned, how fine is the daughter of Abu Zar, and how obedient she is to her father, obedient to her mother, having sufficient flesh, and a source of jealousy for her co-wife. As for the slave girl of Abu Zar, how fine is she? She does not disclose our affairs to others outside the four walls of the house. So she doesn't disclose the secret, and she's disclosing herself. Okay. She does not remove our weight or provisions, or take it forth or squander it, but she preserves it faithfully. So she's a trustworthy woman, and she does not let the house get filled with rubbish. One day Abu Zar went out. She's talking now Abu Zar. What did he do with her? He's a good person, but he did something with her. She said that he went out of his house when the milk was churned in the vessels, and he met a woman with two children like leopards playing with her pomegranates. That means she's playing with her chest. That means they were infants, and some of them like big. And leopard, she's saying that they are black, their color were black under her vest. He divorced me. Zar married that woman whom Abu Zar met on the way. So that means he divorced her and he married that woman, and married that woman whom Abu Zar met on the way. Zar later on married another woman. He divorced her and she also got married to another man. And that man also is a good person. However, she's saying that Abu Zar is better than this man. What is she saying? Later on married another woman, a chief who was an expert rider and a fine archer. He bestowed upon me many gifts and gave me one pair of every kind of animal and said, Zar, make use of everything you need and send the gifts that he bestowed upon me. They stand in no comparison to the least gift of Abu Zar. He gave her everything. Then the second husband, he gave her everything. He said, take everything that you want. He gave her all the types of cattle or bounties. He gave her everything, and he said, use it. Whatever you want to use it. And she said that whatever he gave to me, the second man, who is good also, okay, it will not reach to or she cannot stand in no comparison to the least gift of Abu Zara. Then Aisha reported that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he heard that long story from Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, this story was said to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in front of him by Aisha radiallahu anha. Then the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after this long hadith, he was listening to Aisha radiallahu anha. He was not saying, just like give me the summary and just like cut this hadith. I have work or something like that. No, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting with Aisha and listening to all this long hadith and saying, I said to me, I am for you as Abu Zar as Abu Zar was for Zar. In other hadith, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that, but I will not divorce you. So he said, I am to you like Abu Zar to Zar, because she was saying that Abu Zar is better than the second husband. However, the second husband was good person, but I will not divorce you. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I just saw your message. Okay, so who does have any question about this hadith?
Sheikh, like on the last hadith, just wanted to know what was the reason for Abu Zara to divorce his wife Zara. So that was like a bit of confusing. I could not understand what the reason.
Can you please repeat what is the reason for what?
The last reason, he said like he divorced to the Zara and married to the woman who was having 2 infants. So I don't understand exactly.
No, he was good person to Zara. Okay, then one day she's saying one day he left. Okay, and he left out. He went out the house, and he was walking on the street, and he saw a woman. Okay, and that woman, he had two children. They were playing with her also. Okay, and he liked her, and then he divorced the first one and he married that woman. Okay.
Okay.
So
But
is this your question? Why did he divorce her, or what is
yeah,
the?
yeah, yeah. If he's a good person, then why he
He
left
just
his
this
wife?
is why we don't want to say like he liked the second one, he left the first one. I don't know. Even if he likes the second one, why he goes and divorced the first one? Maybe she asked him for divorce, I don't know, but she's saying he divorced her. So really, this is a good question. We don't know. It's not mentioning in the hadith why he divorced. If he's a good man like that, why he divorced the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say that
Yes.
he liked the second one. He liked her and he wanted to marry her. Why he divorced the first one? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, this is why I'm also having the same question. Maybe the first one, the second one, she asked him, "I will not marry you until you divorce the first one." It happens, you know. Sometimes it happens, and he got crazy about the second one, and you know he divorced the first one. Sometimes men they lose their minds, and they do like that. Really.
Then if he's losing his mind, then he might not be a good person then.
You can say everyone has a mistake, you know.
Yeah. That was the question which I still think.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, I think so. So,
yeah, even in
but
Hadith, the last Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah.
yeah,
Even in the Hadith, the last Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said like he wants to be like him, but he doesn't want to give divorce.
yeah.
Subhanallah.
Subhanallah. This is why he doesn't want to do like that. And you know, the weird thing, or the most strange thing also in this hadith, especially for the case of Zara and Abu Zar, she still likes him, and she's still saying that he's the best one. You know, even though she got married to the second one, and the second one is a good person, she's still saying that the first one is better than the second one. Even though he divorced her for, you know, it's clear from the hadith that he divorced her only because he wanted to marry the second one, but still she likes him, and still she's praising him, and still she's saying that the second one, although he's a good person, the first one is better than the second one. And this is also, you know, strange.
Yeah. So maybe because like she wanted, because the Abu Zara just wanted everything to give her. Like maybe he gave the best of ornaments, everything. So maybe it's Zara's wish that she wanted someone else. I'm not sure. But maybe that's what I
She
can
wanted.
analyze. So what I was telling, like initially, like Abu Zara, like he gave everything to the women, like Zara. So he gave all the best things, everything. So maybe he wanted to show her like he is the kind of best person to her. So maybe because of that he divorced so that she can marry to somebody else and still she can judge. So can it that be in this way? Why he divorced?
Really, I don't know. But maybe, you know, she's saying maybe at that time they are thinking that men like that, they sometimes, you know, it's at that time, you know, it's not like a big issue or something strange or a big, like nowadays some people they're imitating this, just like having a sin if he marries another woman. Okay, so at that time, this act, okay, it's not like a big thing, you know, it's not like a problem for women also, you know. It's still, there is a problem. They don't like, any woman, she doesn't like to have another wife in her husband's life, but it's normal, it happens, you know, it's very normal for women, even the women, to marry another man after the first one, if he divorces her or if he dies. Okay, and also at that time, you know, polygamy it's not, something is normal, you know, not like nowadays. So if someone do this with his wife, if he marries a second one or third one or whatever, you know, it's not a big issue, that he doesn't commit a sin like today, you know. Today, like, it's like a sin. if someone doing like that, you know, it will be like a kind of war between the first one and the second one, and the man will be in the middle. It's a big issue, you know, nowadays. So maybe this is why Zara still, she likes him, and still she doesn't want to say anything bad on him, even he did that, because this act is normal at that time, was normal.
And maybe Allah knows best.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for the lesson today. We'll stop up to here, and next time inshallah we will go proceed with the second chapter. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sheikh, I hope your health is fine now.
Alhamdulillah, I took medicine this morning. I started to have some problems, and they said I don't want to stop this class for today, so I have to take medicine from the beginning. I don't like to have medicine, honestly. I stay at the last stage when I feel that there is no way to have the medicine. I have it, but for today I said no, I will not stop the class because of this. I will take the medicine from early morning.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. May Allah reward you with your effects.
Ameen, ameen, alhamdulillah. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.